like
Kill him!
I would ask you to, as part of this sentencing, to grant me 5 minutes in a locked room with this demon. Would you do that? Yes or no?
No, sir.
Would you give me 1 minute? Well, I'm going to have to get someone.
This is Alfred Gaynor, one of the deadliest serial killers in Massachusetts history. According to reports, Gaynor terrorized the city of Springfield, where he brutally murdered 9 women from 1995 to 1998. Gaynor was finally arrested after his DNA matched with evidence from the crime scenes. Gaynor was in court for a pretrial hearing in the murders of Joyce Dickerson and Rosemary Downs. Gaynor's lawyer complained about his situation in jail.
Mr. Gaynor's being held in extreme conditions of confinement. He's being held without right to bail.
Rosemary Downs' son watched silently as Gaynor's lawyer asked for better jail conditions.
Among the onlookers is this man. Gaynor strangled his mother.
Gaynor had allegedly himself on Rosemary Downs and then strangled her to death. So when he was standing in front of her son, things got out of control.
We'd like to put some agreement.
Eric Downs jumped the barrier and charged at Gaynor, who ducked just in time to dodge the swing.
Put some agreement.
Gaynor then sprinted towards the side, but Downs held onto his cuffs. Then he tackled the killer to the floor and unleashed a barrage of punches. Downs was pulled away by the alleged killer's sister, Kathy Gaynor. Back on his legs, Downs picked up a chair and brought it down on Gaynor. Gaynor's sister intervened once again, pulling Downs away so the defendant could be rushed out of the courtroom. Officers rushed to restrain Downs and bring order back in the courtroom.
Other officers attempt to restore order.
Gaynor was later convicted of killing Rosemary Downs and 3 other women. He also admitted to killing 5 more. He's serving out his life sentence in Sousa Baranowski Correctional Center in Lancaster, Massachusetts. Alfred Gaynor murdered multiple women and was attacked in court. But how does that compare to a serial killer grinning at the father of his victim? Like in the case of Michael Madison. On July 19th, 2013, a cable company worker reported a strange smell coming from a locked garage.
So I went in there, and when I smelled the smell, I was like, oh my God, we need to call the police.
Cops arrived to investigate the tip and surrounded the garage. Upon entering, they found the source of the smell, a rotting body. They immediately searched the rest of the property and uncovered 2 more bodies.
Evidence of decomposition fluid in several parts of the apartment building. There were maggots that were attached to the decomposition fluid.
The victims were identified as 18-year-old Sherelda Terry, 38-year-old Angela Deskins, and 28-year-old Shatisha Shealy. The victims' families were devastated and enraged.
We all know she's never coming back.
She was a good girl, quiet. She didn't bother nobody. She didn't deserve this.
Investigation revealed that the garage was leased to 35-year-old Michael Madison. Cops searched Madison's car and found garbage bags and a brand new shovel in its trunk. It seemed like Madison was getting ready to dispose of the bodies. He had killed the women just a few days apart from each other.
This person, if what we believe is true, killed 3 people in less than 2 weeks. A person like that Every hour that they're on the street, someone else's life could be in danger.
With that in mind, Judge William Dawson decided that
at this time, the bond that's going to be set will be $1 million per count. So there are 6 counts, 6 charges, so your bond is going to be $6 million. You understand that?
Prosecutor Anna Faragalia argued that the murders were premeditated.
We agree that the defendant has an explosive, violent temper. Everybody who kills someone purposely does so in some kind of an eruption. But that does not mean that this defendant didn't kill these women with prior calculation and design.
She focused on proving that Madison was methodical in his crimes.
He killed them in the same way, at the same place, and in a short time frame. Then he disposed of their bodies. Michael Madison gave you 3 reasons to find him guilty. Their names are Sherelda Terry, Jatisha Sheely, and Angela Deskins.
The defense tried to paint each murder as an isolated case of sudden, uncontrolled violence.
What we have, ladies and gentlemen, is an equal plausible explanation that each one of these individuals was killed with a sudden eruption of violence.
But the jury did not buy this and found Madison
guilty of aggravated murder, and further find and specify the defendant is also guilty of purposely killing Sherelda Terry, Shatisha D. Sheely, and or Angela H. Deskins.
They found that Madison's actions were premeditated.
The defendant did commit the offense with respect to the kidnapping and was the principal offender, or if not the principal offender, committed the crime with prior calculation and design.
For his sentence, the jury recommended the death penalty.
We therefore unanimously find that the sentence of death should be imposed upon the defendant, Michael Madison.
At his sentencing, Madison heard from the father of his youngest victim, Sherelda Terry.
I would not have to pay today. Father Sherelda Terry. But right now, I guess we're supposed to, in our hearts, give this out. But we've touched our families.
At one point, the girl's father turned towards Madison, who grinned at him off camera. Then, all of a sudden, Madison kept grinning as he dodged the attack. Madison was rushed out of the courtroom while Sherelda's family tried to calm her father. In a later interview, Sherelda's dad revealed he attacked Madison because he was grinning at him.
When I turned around to look at him, and he hit me with that grin, I lost my mind.
He grinned at you?
Yes, he did.
After that, Judge Nancy McDonnell made her remarks.
I am struck by the sheer inhumanity of what one human being can do to not one, but 3 human beings. It is incomprehensible.
She then went on to describe his actions in great detail.
You folded them in half, binding them so that their feet were up by their ears. You wrapped them in multiple layers of trash bags, and you discarded them.
After that came the sentence.
Accordingly, the sentence of death is imposed upon the defendant, Michael Madison, on counts 1, 4, and 7.
Michael Madison killed 3 women and was attacked by the father of one. But what happens when the defendant is with hundreds of victims? Like in the case of Larry Nassar.
The life has literally been sucked out of me.
During this time, he was the national medical coordinator for USA Gymnastics and a team physician for Michigan State University. Nassar used his position to take advantage of hundreds of athletes and insist that it was standard medical procedure.
Sir, in fact, what you did in these victims in all of these counts was ungloved. Is that correct?
Yes, you are.
And it was not for any medical purpose, is that correct?
What?
It was for your own purpose, is that correct?
Yes.
Some of the victims came forward much earlier, but USA Gymnastics did nothing.
One accusation went by and nothing was done, but neglected and pushed aside. By 1998, there were even more, yet once again, nothing was done. Due to complex details that I won't get into here, my parents chose to believe Larry Nassar over me. To my father, someone who makes such heinous, false accusations is the worst type of person. His belief that I had lied seeped into the foundation of our relationship. Every time we got into a fight, he would tell me, "You need to apologize to Larry." I told him that I wasn't lying. You convinced my parents that I was a liar. That is unforgivable.
One of them went public. Rachel Denhollander was the first to publicly accuse Nassar. Soon, others followed.
They chose to lie about what I said and protect a serial rather than protect not only me, but countless others. Let's be honest. By not taking immediate action from my report, they allowed to go free for more than a year.
To be clear, I blame Larry Nassar, and I also blame an entire system that enabled and perpetrated his abuse.
Nassar was arrested and interrogated. In a separate case, Nassar pleaded guilty to 7 counts of criminal misconduct.
In the plea agreement and what we've put before this court today, you are waiving any defenses that your actions were for a legitimate medical purpose.
Yes.
After that, he apologized to his victims.
I'm so horribly sorry that this was like a match that turned into a forest fire out of control. And I pray the rosary every day for forgiveness for I want them to heal. I want this community to heal. I have no animosity towards anyone. I just want healing. It's time.
Then it was time for Judge Rosemarie Aquilina to give her remarks.
You used that position of trust that you had in the most vile way.
Then she commented on Nassar's statement about healing.
I agree that now is a time of healing, but it may take them a lifetime of healing while you spend your lifetime behind bars.
At Nassar's sentencing, his victims came forward with emotional victim impact statements.
I feel nauseous, even standing in front of you.
One of the victims demanded an apology.
I want you to apologize to me right here. I want to forgive you, but I also want to hear you tell me that you regret all the hurt you caused. Thank you.
Nassar appeared to be remorseful, but only after he was caught.
Your words these past several days, your words have had a significant emotional effect on myself and has shaken me to my core. I also recognize that what I am feeling pales in comparison to the pain, trauma, and emotional destruction it's got all the news back then.
Then it was time for the judge's remarks.
Would you like to withdraw your plea?
No.
Because you are guilty, aren't you? Are you guilty, sir?
After that, she sentenced him to 175 years in prison.
I find that you don't get it, that you're a danger. You remain a danger. I'm a judge who believes in life and rehabilitation when rehabilitation is possible. I have many defendants come back here and show me the great things they've done in their lives after probation, after parole. I don't find that's possible with you.
Sir, I'm giving you 175 years, which is 2,100 months. I just signed your death warrant.
Those words proved to be prophetic as Nassar was stabbed at least 10 times in an attack that left him bleeding from his neck. He was also attacked in an earlier hearing where a victim's father asked the judge for some time alone with Nassar.
I would ask you to, as part of this sentencing, to grant me 5 minutes in a locked room with this demon.
The judge told him,
that is not how our... No, sir, I can't.
Would you give me 1 minute?
You know that I can't do that.
That's when he took matters into his own hands.
I want that stuff behind your back. Give me 1 minute with that. What if this happened to you guys?
Not behave like that. No one can behave like this. I want to make sure it's crystal clear.
You haven't lived through it, lady.
You cannot behave.
Nassar has been attacked several times, including once in prison. But what happens when the father of a girl comes face to face with her killer? Like in the case of Clifford Thomas. In September 2014, Jamila Smith was rushed to Henry Ford Hospital in Detroit. The girl had bruises on her head and chest consistent with abuse.
I couldn't believe it. I just couldn't believe it.
The girl's mother, Jasmine Gordon, made excuses for the injuries.
She just said the baby bumped into a wall and didn't mean for it to happen. Well, she said she ran into a wall, so that's all I know, no more than what they told us last night.
That turned out to be a lie, and the girl's injuries were traced back to multiple instances of blunt force trauma. Gordon and her boyfriend, Clifford Thomas, were arrested. When Jamila died of her injuries, the two were charged with involuntary manslaughter, along with other counts.
Over 50 injuries, and they were at various stages of healing. Had several impacts all over her head. In fact, there was hemorrhaging between the scalp and the bones.
The trial was emotionally charged, and at their sentencing, things soon got out of control. The girl's father stepped up to the podium to deliver an impact statement, but instead, he snuck up behind Thomas and punched him in the back of his head. Thomas was flung to his feet by the impact and turned around to hit the girl's father. By then, the attacker had been restrained by a deputy and pulled away. Thomas pursued him, but was pushed behind the clerks, where two deputies held him back. Courtroom was cleared, and the sentencing was postponed till later in the day. Then, in the absence of the victim's father, Thomas was given a sentence of 6 to 15 years for involuntary manslaughter. The judge refused to hold the girl's father in contempt for the attack. Thomas was attacked by the father of the girl he had killed. But what happens when the mother of a victim takes justice into her own hands? Like in the case of Klaus Grabowski, who murdered a girl in 1981. Convicted offender Klaus Grabowski was released on probation by a court in West Germany. Grabowski went on to claim another victim in Anna Bachmeier. He abducted Anna and took her to his apartment, where she stayed alive for at least a few hours. Then, he strangled her with his fiance's stockings. When Grabowski's fiancée returned home, he told her what he had done to the girl whose body was still in his apartment. She left immediately to report everything to the police. He was put on trial for the girl's murder, and it seemed like he was going to be convicted. But Anna's mother, Marianne Bachmeier, had other plans. She smuggled a small pistol into the courtroom while attending the trial. Then, she pulled it out and shot Grabowski 7 times. The shock of those in attendance was visible in the background. One of the officers got Bachmeier to lower the pistol, but by then it was too late for Grabowski. Six of the bullets had punctured his body, and he died from rapid blood loss. Bachmeier was arrested immediately and charged with murder. Shortly after, the charges were amended, and she was convicted of manslaughter. The judge sentenced Bachmeier to 6 years in prison, and she was released after serving 3. Grabowski was killed by the mother of his victim. But what happens when a killer comes face to face with the sons of his victims? Like in the case of Dale Williams, who chased and killed his ex-girlfriend, Elizabeth Stewart. Stewart was driving along Market Street in Youngstown when her boyfriend, Dale Williams, rammed his vehicle into her car. Williams had been looking for Elizabeth after a domestic dispute, and he had finally found her. He stepped out of his car and shot and injured Elizabeth several times. He confessed to the murder and was scheduled for sentencing when things took a violent turn. The victim's sons could not stand the sight of Williams and rushed to attack him. One of them landed several punches before the deputies could intervene. He did not stop swinging until a deputy zapped him with his taser. A woman begged the deputy to stop, but was asked to stay away. A deputy helped Williams to his feet and rushed him out of the courtroom. With Williams out of his reach, the victim's son turned around and got handcuffed. Finally, the courtroom was cleared and the sentencing was postponed.
Let's go now.
Williams killed his ex-girlfriend and was attacked by her sons. But what happens when a father and son team up to beat a killer in court? Like in the case of James Gonzalez, who shot and killed Matthew Hall following an argument. Hall passed by Douglas Gonzalez's car outside of a Motel 6 in Mobile, Alabama. The two got into an argument, after which Gonzalez shot Hall. Gonzalez claimed that Hall had slapped him first, and witness testimony backed this up, as Gonzalez's own friends had seen his hand going into the car window. The situation in the courtroom was tense leading up to the verdict. A dozen officers and deputies lined the courtroom, anticipating an emotional reaction from either party. Hall's father and brother waited anxiously to find out if Gonzalez would be convicted of murder. Then came the verdict. Gonzalez was found not guilty of murder and instead convicted of criminally negligent homicide, which carried a 1-year sentence. Hall's brother couldn't hold back his disappointment and jumped over the barrier to get justice with his own hands. He managed to punch Gonzalez before the officers could reach him. Hall's dad also joined the brawl and appeared to be divided between pulling his son away and attacking the killer. Gonzalez's family was in tears while spectators watched in horror. It took 8 officers to restrain the Halls. Even more were called for backup. In the end, Gonzalez was taken out of the courtroom without any serious injuries. But several people in the courtroom needed medical attention because they had been trampled in the brawl. The Halls were sentenced to 5 days in prison, but were let go after 1 night in jail. Gonzalez, on the other hand, was sentenced to 1 year for the negligent homicide. James Gonzalez was attacked in court after getting a surprisingly short sentence. But what happens when a killer refuses to reveal the location of his victim's body? Like in the case of Deshaun Brown, who killed his girlfriend Nitisha and her son Nilo. Prosecutor Joe Dieter was horrified by the gruesome nature of the double murder.
It's a gruesome case. I cannot even imagine.
Brown left his girlfriend's body in her Walnut Hills apartment for 6 days while he looked for ways to get rid of it.
He purchased a body bag after that from eBay.
Investigators learned that Brown had wanted to kill his girlfriend for a long time.
He knew he was going to kill her for 2 months. I mean, this was a very premeditated murder.
Brown was arrested and interrogated, but he didn't give up the location of Nilo's body.
They're still looking for Nilo, but it's pretty clear that he died a miserable death.
Nilo's family was in a lot of pain, and his grandfather shared some of it with the media.
Sean Brown is a monster. You deserve the death penalty for what you did to my grandson and my daughter. You deserve the death penalty. No mercy, none. Deshaun Brown deserves nothing less than the death penalty. That's exactly what you deserve. No mercy at all.
He said that the killer had taken his daughter and his grandson.
Should be living right now. My grandson should be alive right now. This scumbag deserves to be in hell. He needs to burn in hell.
Nilo's family wanted Brown to get the death penalty, which he tried to dodge by citing his mental condition. But that did not hold up in court.
Based on there then being no intellectual disability and there being no support for a severe mental illness,
it's clear to me that he made multiple steps to cover it up, that he tried to evade police later.
Everything came back to the brutality with which Brown had murdered his victims.
He chose to kill Nilo in an incredibly barbaric method. And I still have nightmares about this.
As these details became public, Brown became a walking reminder of how much his victims had suffered, especially the boy. So when the boy's father spotted the killer, he could not hold back. Two deputies wrestled Nilo's father to the floor. The deputies struggled to keep him down as he continued to curse out the killer.
Base, can we get back up in 560 now? Scott?
Brown returned to his seat and stared down the boy's father.
Don't move!
A deputy holding down the attacker asked the judge to hit the panic button.
Judge, can you hit the panic alarm, please?
I get.
The deputies got the boy's father to calm down, then helped him to his feet.
Calm down. Stop. Stop. Are you okay?
But within seconds,
What's wrong? Chill out, dude. Take it. No. Come with me. All right, you go.
Brown was taken out of the courtroom. Moments later, the victim's father was taken out as well. Deshaun Brown later pleaded guilty to the murder of Nitisha Lattimore and her son, Nilo.
Do you still wish to enter a plea to count 1, aggravated murder, and count 2, aggravated murder?
Yeah.
I just need to hear you say it one more time. What is your plea to those charges?
Yeah, it's cool. Yeah.
What's your plea?
He was sentenced to life in prison. Brown was attacked by the father of his victim. What happens when the family of a victim gets into an all-out brawl with the family of the killer? Like in the case of Frank De Leon Jr., who shot his girlfriend Diamond Alvarez 22 times. Alvarez died on the spot, and De Leon was charged with her murder. He pleaded guilty without hesitation. At his sentencing, De Leon heard from the victim's mother, who blamed his parents for how he turned out.
My daughter, not to hurt my daughter.
Then she started walking towards him. However, when Alvarez's mother tried to confront her daughter's killer, all hell broke loose. Within seconds, the victim's uncle tried to hit De Leon, but was stopped just in time. Then, another fight broke out between the mother of the victim and the mother of the killer. Then, another woman joined the melee. Officers broke up the fight and separated the families. The victim's mother was taken out of the courtroom and could not attend the final phase of the sentencing.
Because I wanted to be for her to the end, but for our safety, we decided to stay home.
She told the media that the killer's family was after her.
What I'm going through is not a life, that I have to watch my back, that I can't go nowhere.
She was sad and angry, but deep down, she was also scared.
Because we're scared.
In the end, Frank accepted a plea deal and was sentenced to 45 years in prison.